Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the 343industries.org community forum Let's Play of XCom 2. My name is Red Star Rocket, and when I left you last time, we were just about to engage on a mission to look into a landed UFO. And since we don't really have anything going on in the strategy layer at the moment, and certainly anything that requires our attention in the Avenger, I think we're going to get straight into this week.
Setting course for the Indian Regional Zone.
Now, on the one hand, we have just moved up a tech tier in terms of the enemy. They are deploying their heavy units now for Advent rather than just their regular troopers. So we've got to be a little careful with our squad composition here. We can't weaken it too much. However, as we've now got a few soldiers who are starting to reach very, very high ranks, I'm thinking for this mission we may forgo our usual 3 core members and look into taking some of our slightly underused soldiers. So to captain us this week, I think we'll go with Boss, because it's always good to have a medic in the team. Now, UFOs are a slightly strange thing in terms of timers. They don't start on a timer, but as soon as you take out your first squad, they move back onto a timer. So snipers have some use, but they're not quite as useful as they could be. And of course, you're cutting your way into a UFO, which is probably going to involve a bit of high explosive, so we will be going Grenadier heavy this mission. With that in mind, actually, what rank is Ty? Tyrion's just a lieutenant as well, so I think we may take him. And we will take Maestro as well. Have a conveniently colour-coded armour pattern to make it easier to work out who our Grenadiers are. I think I would like to take a sniper on this mission, just for the experience if nothing else, as we'd like to get a backup for Gamble. So I think we'll bring Yash here, as he's slightly more close range oriented, as he's a pistolier. Well, I don't think he's actually gotten any decent pistolier skills yet. I think he's still stuck with just long watch. And for the remainder of our squad, we'll definitely bring in T. T's really, really useful. And we could even go really Grenadier heavy and take 3 of them, which might be a little excessive. I think it's a toss-up here between Slick and Dan, as 2 snipers would be a bit much. And Gamble, we've already got a sniper, yeah. So it's a toss-up here between Slick and Kool-Aid. And I think we'll go with Kool-Aid here. So let's start by equipping some utility items on everyone. Boss obviously is going to need his medkit, as it's really, really core to our strategy. Yash, I think we will give the Merrick Beacon. As he's probably going to be the least powerful in terms of outgoing firepower here. So that just leaves the Frost Bomb, and I think we'll put that on Maestro, probably. There we are. As that way, we can launch it a bit further, and I don't think Tyrone has double-use grenades, so we might as well just pop it on Maestro here. Okay, Operation Driving Tome. Secure a disabled UFO, let's get started.
Sky Ranger to squad green to deploy.
Resistance forces managed to disable a UFO that's set down in this region. And we've got an opportunity here to grab valuable tech from it before the aliens have a chance to recover. Eliminate any hostile resistance in the area and secure the site to retrieve the assets. Status 1-5, UFO site coordinates locked in. Move to secure the area, neutralize all hostiles.
Lock and load, Deltas.
And I think this may be the first UFO landing we've done this campaign. Certainly don't remember doing one before now. Now, UFO missions are slightly strange in that they don't have a timer in the conventional sense. You can see up here, we're not under a time limit, we're not under a turn limit. However, once we've engaged our first squad, wherever they may be hiding, on the following turn, the UFO will attempt to send a distress call out, at which point we will get a timer appearing. And the way to stop the distress call is to destroy this item here. Or rather, deal with this item here. Now, there's two ways you can deal with the communications array. The first one is the easy one, the simple one, which is just move in, blow it up. You can do that, it's perfectly valid, and it's really, really good if you need to do it in a pinch or you've got a line of sight in it from a long distance and want to just take your time with the UFO. However, the better way, arguably, is to treat it like any other hacking item. You've seen we've hacked things before, we've hacked doors, we've hacked lampposts, I think. Certainly there are things which we've hacked at this point. And you can attempt to hack it like any other item. Now, this gives you the usual set bonuses. If you complete it successfully, you can grab intel, you can increase your soldiers' hacking stats, all sorts of stuff. But obviously you've got to get fairly close to it, and even if you hack it from a distance, there's a chance that your gremlin, when it moves in, will activate a pod if there's one hiding in the darkness nearby. So we're not under a huge amount of pressure until we engage, and so just to start with, we can afford to take our time, be a bit cautious.
Move out.
Understood. Moving out.
And with Yash, I would be tempted to put him up here, as he looks like he'd have a fairly decent line of sight even from here. However, it's worth noting these trees have the potential to really get in the way, so we might need to consider knocking them down if you were to do that.
Rolling. Moving to designated coordinates.
Now I'm just looking for places where we can get into a reasonable amount of cover, as obviously the last thing we want to do from here is blunder straight into an enemy squad while we're not on cover. So we'll move Colin up to here.
Affirmative.
And then I think we'll put Drizzy. Should we put him here? Or should we put him by this car? You know, for now, let's start by putting Tyrone here. See if we can get a bit of vision just over here. It doesn't look like there's anything going to walk out the darkness there, but he can't see past that car, so perhaps we'll take a slightly risky move and just put Yash here.
Moving.
Which does, of course, leave him exposed on the UFO side, but does enable to pick us, or rather, does enable us to pick up that pod there. And I don't think they'll be able to patrol anywhere near far enough for this to be an issue for us. So we'll just put Kool-Aid over here for now.
Moving on target location.
And T still doesn't have run and gun. So for now, let's just put him up close.
Affirmative.
And we'll also move Maestro just up as well.
Position confirmed.
Now again, because of the way the squad patrols and the way the timer works, we're okay to just take our time and engage this on our own terms. Although, that said, I'm fairly certain I can hear something moving over here. So we've got a 50% chance to crit this captain here, which I don't think would be a guaranteed kill. And also there's a 20% chance just to miss it, so I think we need to find a way to stack those odds for ourselves a wee bit better. And certainly we'll be saving Yash until the last, just so we can use the Mimic Beacon, if we need him to. And none of these hit chances are very good, unfortunately. So perhaps we could open up with a shot from Drizzy here, which is pretty good, and you also have another shot as a just-in-case measure. This won't kill it outright, but it will damage it. And we will have that extra shot, so perhaps we will do this.
They spotted us!
How far can you throw a grenade? Right. Can't quite get it on the Advent Trooper, but we can blow out the Shield Bearer's cover. And the Shield Bearer is arguably the biggest risk here, although they tend not to shoot, they tend to just put down cover. No, let's just deal with this by the book.
Take this!
And Yash can't even see that Shield Bearer from there. Now that captain over there is really, really frustrating with this positioning. As there's absolutely no way we can get it to him to flank him. Yeah, even with Twam's sword attack, there's no way we can get to him, so we're going to have to take hits from him this mission unless we're willing to throw down a Mimic Beacon, and I think that's what we will have to do. I mean, we could always try a shot with Yash, but he has the Mimic Beacon, so probably not the best idea I've ever had to go with that, but never mind. And just thinking about this, we probably should have started with a frag grenade here, as that sort of blown out all this cover, not just part of it. That said, that officer has only 2 HP, so perhaps the best option actually may be to just go and blow him up. We could blow out this chap here's cover, but then who would we be shooting with? That would be an 82% chance to hit him with a 50% chance to crit. That would be reasonable, but then we'd lose the Mimic Beacon. And of course, Twam could just take one of these out with no issue whatsoever. Could we perhaps also blow out this all at once? That's a little risky. There's no guarantee that'll go down. But I think this is probably the best option, just in terms of putting on some damage and making sure that we're going to get kills. Obviously, we don't want to be using explosives. Actually, as I thought, do we want to be using all these explosives in one turn? We could frost bomb them. We could frost bomb them. That's an option. And of course, oh, we do still have boss. And haven't been factoring him into my plans at all there. Right, let's bring him up. He'd need to be here to get a flank on that Advent Trooper, so let's put him there.
Evaluate sector.
And I think we just die here. I think we probably just die here. Right, we need to minimise all this incoming firepower, because we're putting down a Mimic Beacon here. That's the only way we'll have any chance of getting out of this. Okay, we'll start by, and we're going to activate the radio beacon from here as well. So this is really bad. Right, we're going to start by blowing out this captain. We're going to leave that shield bearer, as I'm almost certain he will choose to put down a shield rather than actually take a shot at us. So who do we have left? Twam can't get up to anyone for a flanking attack. Now this says he can, but I don't think he will be able to. And of course the sword isn't a guaranteed hit either, right. Let's see if Boss can work some magic, because if he can, this chap here won't be too difficult to finish off with Twam. Or I'd hope. Yeah. A hit's a hit, and I think Twam has a stock on his, does he have a stock on it? He has a stock. This is fine. This is no issue at all now. So we're going to move up Twam just in preparation for flanking this guy. Or rather flanking these guys on the next turn. We'll put him there. And then he can just use his stock to get a guaranteed kill on this guy. Is it an advanced stock or just a regular stock? Advanced stock, yeah. So even if he misses and there's a small chance of that, it's 2 damage. And he won't miss. And he's got a promotion out of that as well, fantastic. So here we have Yashin Maestro now. We could use a freeze bomb here. That's an option. I'm trying to think how much damage these guys could reasonably put out over the course of a turn before I choose whether or not to do that.
On your order.
And what could we freeze? We couldn't freeze both the snakes. Let's freeze the codex here, I think. Because that's probably going to be the most of a pain in the arse if it does. I think it would run forward and take a shot, but that would do a lot of damage to the Mimic Beacon, and more importantly, it could potentially use its weapon stripping ability, so we'll just frostbomb that.
Take this!
I don't mean weapon stripping, do I mean weapon jamming?
Moving on target location.
We'll move Yash to here, and we'll just throw out the Mimic Beacon. Where do I want them to come? I think I want everyone just to rush forward as far as possible, so perhaps we'll just put it down here. And the Codex can't do anything, which is what we wanted. This is still very far from an ideal situation. And I hope that's not another squad joining the fray. And we didn't see how much health that beacon lost there. And as long as it survives, that's all that matters. All it needs to do is survive for the last shot. And that flank is going to start pre-flank, or that snake is going to start pre-flanked by boss, which is great. And we've lost the beacon there, but that's not a big deal. We can still salvage something from this.
Menace 1-5, we just picked up an outbound signal coming from the UFO. It's some kind of distress beacon. You need to get inside that ship and shut down the signal before they send their whole fleet after us.
So I think it's more likely that boss will kill this. So with that in mind, let's reload him first, as that's only half action. Or we could move him right up and guarantee a hit on it. I think at this point we are just going to move right up to it and get that guaranteed hit. He's still got a reasonable amount of ammunition.
Roger that.
And we obviously want to make sure that we've got the best chances possible of hurting this thing. It's not quite guaranteed, but what can you do?
Sniper mode. Very accurate. Very deadly.
Not so good. Right. How big a cone could we demolish with this? I think that would be big enough for our purposes.
Orders confirmed. Moving out.
And it looks like we can't demolish this tree for whatever reason. Which is strange. Now by hitting it directly we could demolish it, but... Okay. Let's plan before we move. So if we can blow up both these pieces of cover, Drizzy could just shoot both of them. Although unfortunately... What's our chances of sniping shots here? Obviously this isn't great for weapon range. Let's try this with the Ashes. I can't see him doing anything else really useful this turn. This is of course the problem with bringing gunslingers in. We are over our recording time, so don't go anywhere, and I will see you in a moment. Hello and welcome back. So we're still just sizing up this shot here, and it's not great, but I think this is one we need to take because with the Ash there's not really anything else he could do particularly well. Certainly neither of these shots would be great even without the high cover. So if you could do this, I should really appreciate it. Perfect. And that is a reprieve there. That is very much a stay of execution. We should be alright from here. So we'll start by just having Tyrone demolish this tree here, and if it takes out the snake's cover, that's great. If not, we can deal with that. And it has taken out both of them. That's fantastic. I'm not sure quite why. Now that's frozen, which is why we're getting such an aim boost there. But... Right, let's start with a shot from Drizzy here. And then we'll go with Maestro, I think. Just as he's got the slightly higher damage weapon here. Perfect. Although we are going to have to be hit by something here, so... I think we'll accept being hit by the Codex, as it's more likely to use its weapon jamming ability, which is frustrating, but it's less likely to wound us. And we'll just go for a pistol shot. No, we can't go for a pistol shot on the snake here. As this has the potential to dodge.
Target disabled.
And we're just going to move T straight up to this thing here.
On my way.
And that'll be him dead there. We're playing this one a little sloppily here, but that's only to be expected given the bad luck we had with activating this pod. I say bad luck, I probably knew it was coming, but not a lot we can do beyond that. And if I'm right, I think I saw another pod there. So let's see if we can take this Codex out. It's in the open, we're flanking it, so this is a decent shot on it, even if it grazes. And it doesn't graze, it just kills, which is what we want.
It's down. Closing on target position now.
And just for the moment, I think we are going to take one turn to reload Overwatch before we finish this thing here.
Deltas.
We do still need to move in very quickly here, but I don't want to risk activating another pod before we've fully replenished our ammunition.
Locked and loaded.
As we may end up with a slightly extended firefight.
Overwatch. Overwatch!
And we'll just
You are dead.
have T hunker down. Everyone else can move to Overwatch.
Move in.
And I feel like this isn't necessarily a good set of moves I'm making here, as we're moving up almost unsupported. But that said, we do have to start making progress at this point. We really do have to start making progress into this UFO. And this door here is open, this one here is not. I'm not quite sure how Yash had line of sight through 2 walls here onto that codex, but I'll take it. I'll take it.
Confirmed.
And boss, I'd like to move up, but I am a little hesitant to do that. So we're just going to bring T to here and hopefully he won't see anything. If he does, I've miscalculated this horribly. We're alright, right. So we're going to use this just as our front line at this point.
Getting it done.
Going to get everyone up as far as possible, as we know this spot's safe.
Move, move, move!
So we're not taking any risks of activating any enemy pods on our yellow moves here, which would be disastrous. And then we're going to get Yash to open this door here, which I think will reveal an enemy pod, but we'll make decisions based on that when we happen to base it on. Hello? Not quite sure why this happens. Occasionally it does. So it'll just take quite a while to open doors and things. And I'm just going to bring T to here and hopefully this won't activate anything.
Commander, sir.
The gods of chance are still smiling on us just for the moment.
Good to go, sir.
We'll take that for as long as we can.
That's affirmative.
I wouldn't mind getting a closer look at their flight computer. Ours could probably use some updates.
Understood. Moving out.
And the goal here, just because of how much time we have left, is going to be to get Boss into a position where he can hack that flight computer. But if he can't, it's not the end of the world.
Affirmative.
We can't always just blow it up. It doesn't have a lot of health.
Affirmative. Covering now. On Overwatch. On Overwatch!
And just the remainder of this turn, we're going to have everyone except T, I think, just hunker down.
Take them out from there, Delta.
So let's see. 2 sectoids and a snake.
What a waste.
Okay. We don't quite have a good line of sight on that door there, just to pop through and blow stuff up. So let's move Maestro to here. And we'll see. I had suspected this would happen, so obviously that's not great, but at least now we know where we can shoot from and where we can't. And we are just going to move T to here at this point. And if we reveal something over there, he's dead, but we'll have to take that chance, I think.
Got it, sir.
And thank God it's just the flight computer.
It's the distress beacon. Move in and disable it before the aliens get a bead on the UFO.
And then we will bring Ty just to here, which should give him a perfectly adequate line of sight onto these guys here. And we'll just blow out all that cover if we can. There we go.
Heads down!
And that's blown up precisely one piece of cover, which is really bad. So we need to start thinking of priorities now here. And if we could just get one more shot on. No, we can't. We can't. So we'll start by taking out this sector with Maestro, or hopefully taking him out with Maestro. The odds are The odds are bad, it's XCom. Right. So, oops. And that was a misclick, but it's a misclick which is paid off. So, that sectoid in the back, he's obviously going to be a problem for us, but he is the least bad option of the stuff we have available. So we'll take this other one out, and the other one will hopefully move to use mind control. Or if we're really lucky, full damage.
Orders confirmed. Moving out.
And from here, boss will be able to hack that computer on the next turn, so we're going to move him up nice and ready.
Move in.
Drizzy also will just... I don't think we'll spot anything from this tile here, so we should be safe to move up. But then why take the risk? Why take the risk?
On the move. On Overwatch.
And I think he's going to go for mind control here, which is bad, but it's
No, please.
not really horrendously bad. Okay, so first things first, we need to hack this workstation here.
Initiate slicing protocols, Delta.
And I probably should have reloaded there first, to be honest, but what can you do? You know, looking at these, not only are the chances not great, there's nothing here that I particularly want, so perhaps a better option here might be to remove panic and then just demolish it through grenades, because I'm not seeing anything there that looks really, really worthwhile. Does anyone have a grenade on them? Maestro does. Drizzy doesn't. But we could grenade it with Maestro. We could even grenade it with Tome if need be. And this sector is just dead here. And I'm hoping this will be the last squad, but I think there's probably one more. We haven't had a transmission from Bradford, so that's almost certainly one more there, but never mind. And you know what? We may as well just hack the workstation here, because... Oh, no. We have to think about this. We have to think about this. Come on. Let's hack it and save the
Delta
grenade.
squad, let's take it down from here.
Yes, I think we're in reasonably good cover here. No, let's move boss into high cover first and then we'll begin the hack. You'd still be able to see it from either of these, so we'll just move them to this one here.
Move to
This time
higher
we can
ground.
collect this item as well.
The power supply on this ship is likely to be a newer variation of the Illyrium core driving the Avengers systems.
And we've recovered an Illyrian core from that dead Viper as well, which is great.
I'll bring this back to command. They can reverse engineer the tech. I'd like Delta to carry these as part of our loadout. Let's do this quietly, Delta.
And let's just hack this here. Those odds weren't particularly great. Boss is probably a little under-leveled here. But it's no big deal, provided we haven't triggered an enemy spawn while we're doing that, which is why I wanted to grenade it, really.
We've knocked out the alien distress signal. Looks like the skies are quiet. Status confirmed. Mission accomplished.
Bradford didn't pop up to say, oh, hostiles been eliminated, disable that UFO or something, so I'd assumed there was a fourth pod, but... Overall, barring one slight miscalculation, I'm quite happy with that. Not a great mission by any stretch, but we did okay. And of course the most under fire was our mimic beacon, which is what we like to see. I think we only really came under one other piece of fire other than that. And that was a piece of mind control anyway, which has the potential to be bad, but usually it's not horrendous.
Told the troops to expect the best, and that's what you've shown them, Commander. Well done.
And we've got a full rack of promotions here, which is exactly what we want. So here we are, boss. Scanning protocol. The Gremlin can trigger an instant scan of the area, increasing the specialist sight radius substantially for one turn and revealing any hidden or disguised enemies in view. Now that's really, really good for missions where you've got disguised enemies or borrowed enemies like chrysalids and faceless. It's really, really, really useful. It's not just a slight increase in sight range, it is absolutely massive. So I would be tempted for that, but on the other hand, Field Medic is really good if you're using your specialists a little more defensively. So I think that's one we'll go for here. And Yash has finally unlocked Lightning Hands, which gives you a free pistol attack. A few turns, which is great. It's basically, you know, free damage, so we'll definitely be taking that. And T finally has Run and Gun, which is arguably the most broken ability in the game. Conceal, you can enter Conceal one's permission, which is good if you want to scout, as we do with Morrigan, but Run and Gun basically gives you a free move. That doesn't sound like a whole lot, but it means you can move, make another free move, and then shoot. And that means that since most enemies try to get into a range where they're within a yellow move of being flanked, just to increase their aim odds, that is brokenly powerful, especially since when they are flanked by Twam, he deals a guaranteed crit. So, when I say this is the most broken ability in the game, I'm not understating that. It's brilliantly powerful. It was so powerful, it was actually the Assault class's base ability back in Enemy Unknown and Enemy Within, and it's actually been nerfed to be halfway down the talent tree here, which should give you some indication of how useful it is. Maestro, we've got a slight dilemma here with him and Slick. Is Shredder, I personally think, is more useful than Blast Padding. But on the other hand, he is going to be mostly focused on high explosives, so we may as well have a backup meat shield. And we'll just hit Blast Padding for that. And of course, Cooler has stated he'd like to be highly irregular, so that's what we'll give him. And we'll pop a flare here. Shake it off again. I think that could be quite useful, but that is quite reliant, I think, on having someone be hit by a mental power, and that's very, very situational, whereas you can always find a use for flare. So we'll take that. In terms of our loot here, we've got ourselves a Codex Brain and a Lyrium Core, which is always good. I don't think there's anything new here. Have we recovered a shield bearer so far? I think we've met them. I don't know if we've recovered a corpse so far, but in any case, the Advent shield bearer corpse, these cadavers exhibit far more muscle and bone density than other Advent bodies we've recovered, and remain surprisingly warm to the touch for hours after their death. But more importantly, beyond that, we've also recovered a ton of supplies. That's really good. That could fund an upgrade to the new pistol rank, which we will be taking, I think. Also, alien alloys and Elerium crystals, which are great just for higher tech levels. They're mandatory for that, especially once you start considering upgrading a plasma weaponry. And alloys are always good for if we want to upgrade to the next stage of armour, as we do. And yes, that was the first shield bearer course we've gotten. So, Advent shield bearers are among the most heavily armoured of the conventional alien forces. Once we've pulled the suit apart, I'm sure the engineering team will find some means of integrating these improvements into our own armour designs. And we are approaching the end of our recording time here, so don't go anywhere, and I will see you in just a moment. Hello and welcome back.
New orders, Commander?
I think the first thing we're going to do here, just with our new supplies, is we're going to have a look at these upgrades. Now we could go for the SMG, which is, I'll be honest, I found that to be a little situational. We will, however, go for the upgrade to the pistol, as it's fairly cheap at only 60 supplies, but more importantly, we have a few soldiers who'll get use out of them. Yash is going to be primarily using the pistol for his style of play, and they're also backup weapons on our infantry, so we'll get plenty of use out of that, I think. I'm also a little tempted to buy a plated vest here, as it's only 50 supplies and we could put that on Slick to just help increase his survivability a bit, if we are going to be using him as a meat shield. As in addition to granting a health boost, it also grants an extra point of armour. So once we get the plated armour tech, we'll be able to equip this on Slick for a total of 3 points of armour, and possibly even 4 if we give him an exosuit. Although I'm not quite sure how the mod that I'm using works in terms of assigning armour for those. I'm also looking at these quite lovingly here. The various heavy weapons are all really, really good, but we don't have exosuits yet, so we'll do that then just for now. And we'll worry about getting PCSs and things a little bit later on.
I think Dad would have been proud of what we're doing here. For the first time in a long time, we're actually a threat to the aliens, and they know it. Now we just have to make all those people in the colonies remember what we're fighting for. My father didn't die so we could become a race of cowering test subjects for the aliens to toy with. We just have to get the people's attention.
And we've got the option of some more supplies here. We can pick up an engineer from there, we can pick up supplies from here. These are all things we'd want. But first things first, we are going to wait for there to be a pip on this Avatar project facility, then we're going to go destroy that. But just first, we are going to finish building this radio relay, and then we'll probably grab the engineer and then the supplies, I think.
Setting course for Sector 1, the Arctic.
And we've required even more supplies from here, which is great.
Maximum power consumption reached.
53 supplies, yeah. And there's only Elerium crystals down here, but these are exposed power coils. So at this point, I'm thinking we do only have 2 engineers. So it would take us 5 days to acquire that new engineer. And that would give us 15 days, yeah. We do have a power relay here. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to just come down to this exposed power core here. We'll clear this out, we'll get some Elerium crystals. And then hopefully we'll be able to just put a power supply facility down here and then not worry about that for a little while. Now that'll take longer than I'd like, but we are going to get a new engineer in the next few days, so we'll just put her or him to work down there once we get him. And we're not far off a new supply drop here, which is nice. Have a quick look at the black market before we move on. There may be something useful we could use here, or we could even sell some stuff if there's anything we don't need which is in high demand. We have plenty of Advent troops and corpses here, and these are very interested, so we're going to sell 10 of those. We'll sell 10 of these. And there's a warning here that would be using these for items, but on the other hand, the nanoscale vest and the mind shield aren't something that really would synergize well with our playstyle. Stun Lancers also don't appear to be being used for anything right now, so there's no warning to say you'd need them, so we may even flog all of them just while the black market is very interested in these. As I'd rather trade them in for supplies rather than just hang on to them in case they come up for a research project. Certainly we can always get more Stun Lancers as we need them. And that stock there, we're functionally past that tech level now, so we might as well sell that just before the price decreases. And we'll be getting a really nice boost of supplies from this, so we'll just sell that. And then we'll have a look at what we can buy here as well. Now for 30 intel, those supplies might be a nice option. Plated armor, I'll just check how far we are away from completing that. We're a day from completing that, that's pointless. For 30 supplies, is that a good trade? Oh, for 30 intel? The truth is, I'm not sure on that. I'm not really sure on that, but on the other hand, that could fund a lot of stuff, and it would take us over the 600 supply threshold, which means we could really start upgrading our soldiers. I think that's a good deal. We'll take that. That's not such a good deal when we've got an engineer coming up anyway, and there's no point rushing that plate armor research. So let's grab this engineer, then we'll hit the other site for the rest of the supplies. And then I'd expect, unless we get another raid or something, for the next mission to be dealing with this facility here.
The outcome of this research can only further our advances, Commander.
So, plated armor, codename Yorick. Presumably is in Alaspur. New items available, Predator suit, which is great. New research available, Illyrium, which is great. And the new Proving Ground projects available, the Exosuit and the Spider suit, which are very, very useful, and we'll probably start using them next mission. We've recovered enough of the Advent armor to begin repurposing the outer plates into something better suited to our soldiers. The material itself seems to be the same as what the aliens utilised throughout the Avengers hull, an extremely durable substance with an unusual ambient magnetic property. As an armour component, the magnetic fields surrounding these plates will actually provide additional protection against magnetic-based weaponry, most notably the Gauss weaponry commonly equipped by Advent. Signed, our Tiger. So using scavenged plates of Advent armour, this provides increased protection and additional inventory capacity for our soldiers. And the word inventory capacity there is absolutely huge for our gameplay style. Which is, it enables all our soldiers to carry a grenade and an item. So we could, for example, start equipping everyone with, for example, we could start giving them specialised ammunition, if we can afford it. The Spider suit's pretty cool, as it includes an integrated grapple, which allows you to move to higher ground. The grapple is a free action as well, so it's really fantastic in that regard. You can just sling yourself up to higher ground if you want a sniper perch, if you want to move a scout up to high ground to have a look at something, or you want to retreat them in a hurry. It just has all sorts of applications. It's really, really useful. And of course we have the exosuit, which is functionally similar to most of our stuff. However, it includes an extra point of armour, which is great, and more importantly, it allows you to mount a heavy weapon on your forearm. Heavy weapons are pretty cool. This does come at the expense of that additional armor slot which I was discussing earlier, so slight drawback there, but on the other hand, you can equip yourself with all sorts of stuff. There's rocket launchers, there's flamethrowers, heavy versions of the above two, all a lot of fun to use. And for our next thing here, we don't quite need to decrypt this yet. So I think we'll make a start in Illyrium, which will push us slightly closer to the next tech level.
I'll see that work begins immediately, Commander. I'll contact you when I have a full report available.
Just give the word and I'll get started, Commander.
And over here you can see under armor, we now can... Fantastic, there we are. I've sold off all those, I've sold all those trooper corpses at a time where we actually did need them, as it turns out. That's fantastic. Well, mistakes were made. Unfortunately, mistakes were made. That said, I think we can start upgrading exosuits and things now. I think. And no, they require trooper corpses as well. It seems I've blundered a bit here. It seems I have blundered a bit, but never mind. I'm sure we'll acquire more in due time. Of course, we could always cheat a little bit and use the console here to remove the supplies we gained and put some corpses back into our possession. We could always do that, but no, I don't think we will. I think we'll just we'll acquire them normally, and we'll be more careful in the future.
Got an urgent communication coming in for you now, Commander.
I had high hopes for the Resistance under your leadership, Commander, and you have outdone yourself.
It's been a pretty good month, by and large. Pretty good month. This one's not a big deal. This one very much isn't a big deal. This one might be. But I think we'll just engage that anyway. We've got the supply drop there, which has a lot of supplies, but first we'll get the engineer. And here we have the option to collect yet another engineer and some bonus intel, so we'll definitely be doing this one. So I hope you've enjoyed this part, including my rather silly decision at the end there to sell off all our stuff just when it turned out that we needed it most. Although I'm sure this won't be too much. Sadly, we won't get any more corpses from this. I think this is an extraction mission, so we don't pick up corpses and things, but it's not a big deal. In any case, I hope you'll join me next time when we take on Operation Dawnstrike. Until then, my name has been Red Star Rocket. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.